Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay today. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. My program's saying it's having trouble loading my chats. So if you are here with me, please comment and let me know that you're here. I'm going to log into Facebook on my phone so I can see comments here. But if you're commenting on YouTube, I might not be able to see your comments, but I will go back and check later and see about comments. And I'll try to catch up on comments on YouTube after the live. If they don't start coming through, I don't know what's going on. It's just saying it's not loading for some reason. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to cut a card base for us for our first card, and I'm just going to do a little chit chat while I'm doing this. It is July 1st, and my name is Jana Edwards. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I go live twice each week to show you how to create projects with Stampin' Up! Product, just to boost your creativity and, give you some ideas on how to use the different products that Stampin' Up! Offers. So if you're new here, please drop me a message in the comments below and just let me know that you're here watching and that you're new. I would love to say thank you for being here. Let's see, it's July 1st. So today in the world of Stampin' Up, new online exclusives were released. So you can go to my online store. There's a description in the video. There's a link in the video description. You can check out my online store and go to online exclusives and look at all the beautiful new products that Stampin' Up! Is offering. I am planning some classes with some of those products and I can't wait to use them. Let's see, what else? If you are an email newsletter subscriber, I will send out my email newsletter this afternoon with my class schedule for this month. So if you're interested in any of that information, please sign up for my email newsletter and I will send that to your inbox this afternoon. I'll probably have it sent out like about 3 o'clock this afternoon so that everyone will have it. Let's see. I'm planning a Christmas in July craft along this month. So be on the lookout for information about that. I will probably introduce that on Thursday during our live on Thursday. I should have everything together so that I can open up registration for that. And I want to host the live craft along July the 29th. It's a Tuesday at 5:30. We'll go live and you guys can pre-order the kits. So registration will be able to pre-order the kits. And then on the 29th of July, you can craft along with me. So if you're interested in that, sign up for my email newsletter because I'll send that out in my email newsletter as well. I will also post it on my Facebook page, social media, all of that. So you have it. It'll also be on my blog at stampedinink.com. I kind of use my blog as my hub. So when we kick off the week, I have a a blog post that coordinates with the class to go for the week. And it tells you a little bit about the product of the week. So like this week, we're using the Happy Hibiscus. Now, where's my stamp? Here it is. We are using the Happy Hibiscus Bundle. Let me find that real quick. It consists of a stamp set, dies, and a hybrid embossing folder. So we're using this Happy Hibiscus. It comes with stamps. The dies are inside here. Hold please. I dropped some. So it's the stamp set and dies. You can see those there. And then it consists of a hybrid embossing folder. And hybrid basically means you take your paper and you can either just dry emboss for, one pass, or you can stamp your images on your cardstock and then one of the dies fits inside the embossing folder and you close it up and when you crank it through your machine, it cuts and embosses and everything for you. It'll cut out 3 of the flowers. So that's what we're using this week, and I'll go live today. This morning, I go live on Tuesdays at 10 and Thursdays at 2 p.m. and we create 2 projects each day, and then I offer those total 4 projects as a kit to go for the week. If you place a $50 order in my online store, I'll send you those 4 kits to create the cards that we create during the week. The only thing I don't do is I don't send stamped images. So if it's part of the bundle, it won't be die cut for you, or it won't be die cut and it won't be stamped for you, because Stampin' Up! Does not allow demonstrators to send stamped images. So you will need to have the product of the week in order to create the kits, just like I create them during the week. So for instance, if you get this week's kit to go, you'll need the Happy Hibiscus Bundle, okay, to create the cards like I create them. We're also using the celebratory Sips designer series paper this week, which is beautiful. It has some really cute stuff in it. I loaned out my bundle to one of my team members, and I'm supposed to get it back today. So hopefully I can start creating some projects with this suite also. All right. Also this month we are doing my creative class kit to go is going to be with the Perfectly Pairs. It's a new online exclusive that just went live today. So I'm going to create my creative kit for that, and registration will open up on the 7th, I believe. And so I'll have all the information about that for you as well. Later on in the week, I will introduce that to you on Thursday during our coffee and a card on Thursday. All right. So let me cut this card base. I'm going to go ahead, let me turn my camera down and I'll show you the 2 projects that we're going to create today. Oh, also, I'm going to turn my camera down so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Today is July 1st, and my upline, our whole team does a blog hop. The first of every month we do a blog hop. And so I have my project posted this month. It'll go live at noon today. So be sure to go check out my blog, stampedininc.com. Let me see if I can get this up here. Yeah, there we go. Go to stampedininc.com, check out my blog post at noon today, and go through and check out the other participants in our blog hop today, so you can see all the great projects. Today we were given a card sketch and the option to choose 3 of our favorite color combinations. So I'm going to show you real quick what the card sketch looks like, and then I'll show you my project. Okay, let me turn my camera down. Let me get rid of this, and I'm going to do this. All right, so this was our blog hop sketch for today, and then this is the card that I created. This will be on my blog. The information for this will be on my blog today at noon, so be sure to go to my blog and check that out. Since I was already going to use the Happy Hibiscus Bundle, oh, you can't see what I'm looking at, can you? Nope, you're watching me. There we go. How's that? Now you can see. Okay, let me start over. This was the sketch for this month. This was the sketch that we were given, and then this is the card that I created with this sketch. Since we were already using the Happy Hibiscus Bundle, I thought that I would go ahead and use it in my project for the blog hop. All right, so if you want to go check out the information for this card, please go check out my blog at stampedininc.com, and all of the information will be there. This is one of the cards we're going to create today. We are going to create this card and this card today using the Happy Hibiscus Bundle and the Celebratory Sips paper, designer series paper. There is also information. There was a blog post yesterday on my blog with all the information about the class kit to go for this week and the supplies. There's a link for the supplies. I also sent out an email to my email subscribers this morning. So if you're an email subscriber, you should have that information. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut my card down. Okay, so we're doing 8.5 by 5.5. And then scored at 4.25. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that with my paper trimmer. I don't like that I can't see my. We're gonna score this at 4.25 right here. And there we have our card base. We're just gonna fold and burnish that really quick. I am going to set this aside down here. And I have an extra card base too. So out of one sheet of cardstock, you can get 2 cards. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of white cardstock. And we're going to do, have this over here, we're going to do some of our stamping and die cutting. Okay. So let me grab this and put this in here. My poor doggy wants to go out of this room. Okay, go Penny. Sorry, give me just a second. I'm gonna turn my fan on over here. And I need a piece of white cardstock. So in your kit, you'll also get a piece of white cardstock to do your stamping. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my ink pads. I need Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink and Granny Apple Green. And then also I need Secret Sea. There we go. All right. I'm gonna grab my dies over here. We're also using the circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. We're going to use, and I think I already have one cut out. We're going to use the largest, I believe it's a 3-inch circle. What I do is I will usually, if I'm cutting one circle, I'll cut several out and then put them in a little bag and keep them in the back of my pouch where I keep my die cuts. All right, so, I need a blending brush and my Balmy Blue ink and Strawberry Slush dark Stampin' Up marker. All right, that looks like all of our supplies for this card. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my grid paper, my messy grid paper, and I'm going to stamp, I'm going to ink this up with some Balmy Blue ink. I'm going to use a blending brush and some Balmy Blue ink. You know, I think I might have used Cloud Cover, but I'm going to change. I'm going to use Balmy Blue for this. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and I'm going to leave the top portion of the circle as white as I can because we're going to stamp our sentiment up there. So I just want like a background blue so that when the flowers are layered onto our circle, it gives it just a shadow effect. All right. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to grab Secret Sea. And the stamp from the stamp set that says, "You Make Me Smile." We're using this one right here. It says, "You Make Me Smile." I'm going to ink that up. And I already got ink on my finger, so now I have to be careful. All right, I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to go just at the top of the circle and stamp our sentiment. Okay, I'm going to use my dark strawberry slush marker, and I'm going to just add some flecks of color into this, onto that circle. See how the color is? I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to grab our piece of cardstock, our piece of white cardstock, and the large outline image, flower outline, the largest hibiscus filler image, and the smaller hibiscus filler image. Okay, I'm going to start with strawberry slush. I'm going to ink up our outline image. If you're here joining me on YouTube or Facebook, I cannot see comments because I don't know what's going on with my software, but it's not allowing me to see comments. So just leave me a comment and I will go back and check later. And respond to you as I can. All right. But if you're here joining me today, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you're here with me this morning. And now I'm going to use Pretty in Pink, and we're going to fill all of these flowers. All right. This is called two-step stamping, and it is one of my favorite stamping techniques because it is so easy and it looks so pretty. I like to do the outline image first because it's easier to see when you get your stamp down to the paper. You can see the outline and where your stamp is supposed to go. All right. There we go. Close this up. Now I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green, and we're going to do some leaves. I need the filler and the outline, and I think, yeah, I used a small one. All right, so we're going to start with the little one, and we're going to do our outline image and then our larger stamp, and I'm just inking it up in Granny Apple Green, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do 2 of the larger ones. Okay, now I want to I'm going to use my filler image, and I'm going to stamp off, ink it up, and then stamp off, and then stamp into your image. Because you want the color to be just a little bit lighter than the outline. There we go. I'm also going to grab, because I did the inside of the card, I'm going to grab my strawberry slush and just want to make sure I have as much of that off as possible. I'm going to just ink up the outline of the small flower, and I'm going to stamp it right there in the corner. Using my strawberry slush, and then fill it in with the pretty in pink. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to add just a little bit of splatter to the corner of that card. Grab my blending brush and add a little bit of shading. Put these away so I don't stick my fingers in them. I'm going to grab my card base, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my silicone mat and my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to go ahead and layer this inside the card. Okay, so there we have that. Now I'm going to grab my paper trimmer again, and I'm going to trim this paper down. So that we can cut and die cut. We can emboss and die cut our flowers, and then we can die cut our leaves. Okay. I'm going to set my scrap over here. Then I will grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to have to stand up for this. Okay, let me get rid of this so you guys can see the whole screen. I'm going to start with the leaves. Let's cut those out first, since we have to do that 3 times. I need my large leaf and my small leaf. We are going to layer these together just like that. I'm going to grab some Post-it note tape to hold those in place. That one was upside down. I better check this one. And they were both upside down. Okay. That's better. I use the Post-it note tape to hold them in place because I don't trust myself that I'm not going to move them when I got my sandwich all put together. All right, we're going to run this through our machine. And there we have a die cut leaf. I'm gonna put this in my bowl over here. And then there is our second leaf. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me grab my little magnetic bowl here so I can put my dies in here so I don't lose them. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to use the larger again, the larger leaf die. We're just going to layer that right there. And there's our third little leaf. Okay, now I need to change my sandwich out. I'm not going to use plates 2 and 3. I'm going to use only plates 1 and plate 2. So let me grab, I have figured out that if I take the large die and stick it down in place first using my tape, then I get a better position on it and it doesn't move on me. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this into place here and here. Then we can take and put it in our embossing folder, just like this. See how it matches up with those flowers there? I don't know if you can see that. It matches up with the flowers inside the embossing folder. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up, put it in my machine, and I'm going to use plates 1 and plate 4 and run this through. You see how this embossed the cardstock? The flowers are embossed with, I don't know if you can see that dimension on there, but then you just take this off and your flowers come pretty flowers. There's one. And then there's the larger one, and our little one snuck out on me over here. Okay, so we have these 3 here, plus our flowers. I'm gonna leave those out because I'll need them in a minute. All right, move this off to the side. I'm gonna grab a sip of coffee real quick. Is anybody else having coffee this morning? Okay, so now we can start building our card. And this is what we're using right here. I have 3 pieces of the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. I'm going to add some glue to these. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive because it allows me to move my paper around. Great. I'm going to put my little shot glass down here. My brother used to work in New Mexico and he brought me shot glasses back, and they make a perfect holder for your glue to hold it upside down. So repurposing his gift. All right. This piece of designer series paper is 5.5 by 1.5, and I'll have all this information on my blog too. I'll have the measurements for this card on my blog. And if you are a email newsletter subscriber, we have one cute fun fold this week, and that's going to be the free project PDF. So I will send that out. I'm going to start sending out my recap videos on Friday. So it will have video replays from both of our online card classes, our Tuesday and Thursday classes. Instead of, sending so many emails to your inbox, I'm going to just condense I'm going to condense the whole class videos into one email. So you'll have links to both the videos, Tuesdays and Thursdays class. And then I will also start including the free project sheet for the fun fold that week. So you'll get those on Fridays now, maybe Thursday afternoon, depending on if I can get everything done in time. Like Thursday after the class. All right. This strip is, the polka dot piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then this little secret C strip is 1/2 inch by 3.5. We're going to layer that just here at the bottom. Now I want to take my sentiment circle. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. And we're going to put it, I just want it overlapping this piece of designer series paper to the right and at the top. Just make sure it's straight and glue that down. Okay. Now I want to put my flowers together like this. And then this one's going to go right up here. So I'm going to go ahead and add dimensionals to the back of these flowers. I'm going to put one on the back of this flower here. Turn this one over. You can see the dimension better on the back side of the flower, how it embossed that piece of cardstock. All right, I'm going to start with this one. Take the backings off. And I want this edge of the flower to be right about here. Okay. Now, I didn't put a dimensional on this petal because when I lay it down, it's going to be laying flat on top of the other flower that already has the dimensionals on it. So I just didn't put anything on there at all. Okay, so I want this one to be about like this. Now I'm going to grab this little flower and we're going to tuck it in right there. Then I'm going to grab my glue and I'm going to add some adhesive just to the bottom of this leaf here. And then I'm going to tuck it in right there to fill in that little negative, that little space there. I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to use the bigger leaf this time. I think I like that better. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive just to the back of this little leaf. And plop it up right in here, just like that. Then we will grab our in color flat pearls and add some of them to our card fronts, and we will be done with the first project. Grab a larger one, put it there. Smaller one, put it right here, and then the medium sized one we're going to put right up here. And there you have it. There's our first card for today. The inside, super cute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. And now we are going to work on this card here. It uses the same technique that we did for the other flowers, but we're going to use the solid die cut for our leaves. I did a whole bunch of them the other day while I was creating, so I know I have a few left. I have one, so maybe we can just cut out 2 more. Okay, so I'm going to need Granny Apple Green, and this is Bubble Bath and Petunia Pop ink, and then Granny Apple Green cardstock, and then again Secret Sea ink for the sentiment. So I'm going to switch out my Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink, and I'm going to grab my Petunia Pop and my Bubble Bath. Okay, so let's go ahead and we are going to stamp these. Let me do a little housekeeping here, move some of this stuff out of the way. Don't need this, but I do need this. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do our flowers real quick. I'm gonna grab my piercing mat, and I need to clean the stamps so we can ink them up in a different color. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my and just clean these up real quick. This is just a chamois. It's a simple chamois, and it's just water. And when it gets really dirty, you just take it and you run it under the water and wring it out, and it will get clean. I know it looks dirty, but I just cleaned it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just, while I have this open, I'm gonna clean these real quick. Stampin' Up also has a Stampin' Scrub that has, it's got a wet side and a dry side, and it has the little bristles in it, so it's like a scrubby pad. But this seems to work pretty good for the photopolymer stamps. All right. So let me set this right here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do our outline image. In Petunia Pop, and then we'll do our 3 flowers in Bubble Bath. Okay, so I have Petunia Pop here. Stamp this outline image right there, and I may have gotten that a little close. We'll see. A little close to the edge there, Jana, but I think it'll be okay. All right, now we need our filler images, small, medium, and large. We're going to use Bubble Bath and just, again, line this up with your outline and stamp it right in the center of your outline. A little bit of pressure on the block and you should get a really clear image. And if it's not exactly perfect, it's okay. This is a handmade card. It's not supposed to be perfect. All right. Oh, I just stuck my finger in the ink pad again. It's a good thing this is water-based ink and it comes right off. All right. I'm going to use my paper snips and I'm going to just cut so that I don't end up embossing this whole sheet of paper. And we can use this for our projects on Thursday. We use that scrap. Okay. I'm also going to grab, there should be, I went ahead and die cut out. When you get your kit, it'll come like this, but I went ahead and I die cut the label. This label is in the bundle. Okay, so I went ahead and die cut the label, and I'm going to take the You Make Me Smile stamp again. We're going to go ahead and stamp that. I'm going to use my grid paper to make sure that my label is straight, and I'm just going to stamp You Make Me Smile right there in the middle. Just like that. Okay. Everybody still with me? Don't forget, if you're here with me, please leave me a comment. I would love to know that you're here watching with me. If you're watching on YouTube, for some reason I cannot get my chats on my software right now. It's probably because I need to update and it's not allowing me to get my chats right now. Oh, wait. Hi, Claudia. Thank you. Okay, it finally connected to YouTube. I'm so glad. Hi, Claudia. Thank you. It's good to have you here from Germany. Yay. It's nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab my embossing machine. We're going to cut these out again. Oh, I'm glad that finally connected. Now I can see. All right, we're going to grab this. We got a new, I bought a Roomba vacuum off of Facebook Marketplace because I wanted one for the front. Our house is kind of split. The kitchen and the dining room are in the back of the house, and then we have a long breezeway entryway, and then the rest of the house is, you know, up front. It's the house was built in the 1900s, so back then they used to build them so that you could open the front door and the back door, and the breeze would go all the way through the house. So that's what we have. Well, you know, our Roomba does the first part, and then we have some gates that are keeping dogs out of the front part of the house, and they're only in the kitchen and dining room, and then their room is in the back of the house too. So we got a new Roomba. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace yesterday for that half of the house, and I don't know, our internet was just really slow loading that, you know, loading the software. So maybe that had something to do with why my software wouldn't load. Who knows, right? All right, let's try this again. I had it a little off. So I'm going to hold that right there, and then maybe if I put this little piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to, it's going to go just like this, I think. It goes right, nope, it goes this way. It goes right in here in this one. It only cuts out the 3 flowers, but I really like the folder and how it, okay, I have that lined up right there. Hold on. Okay, that's there. Just like that. You can feel it when it sets in the grooves. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Put this through our machine. Hey Tammy, how are you? Okay, and now my husband's texting me. So we're gonna go ahead and pop these out. I'm gonna set this off to the side real quick. I was doing coffee and just 1 card on Tuesdays, and then I would do 3 projects on Thursday during our second online class of the week, and it just was taking so long. It was taking an hour and 45 minutes to do the 3 projects, so I thought I would start doing 2 projects in each class, and it cuts it down to about an hour, which isn't so bad after all the announcements and everything, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and layer this on our card. Oh, I need to cut out 2 more leaves, right, with the solid. So let me grab my machine over here, and we'll cut those out real quick. I need some Granny Apple Green cardstock, and I just happen to have some right back here. Okay, I need my 3 top plates. Oh, are you visiting your grandkids, Tammy? All right, so I'm going to use this solid leaf here from the die set. This is such a great bundle. I love this bundle. So I'm going to cut out 2 more of these leaves. I just wish that when you had little pieces, Stampin' Up! Would include like two die cut leaves, you know, so that you could have, you could cut out 2 at a time. Oh gosh, Tammy, I hope everything's okay. She said she had a family emergency. I hope everybody's all right. Okay. 1 more leaf. I'm using my take your pick tool just to poke these leaves out of there. All right. Throw that there. Let me move this out of the way, and then we can go ahead and start building our card. Okay, so this is what we're working on right here. I need my flowers, which I have here, and my 3 leaves, which I have over here, and my fingers are all yucky from. So I'm going to use my mat, my silicone mat, And these are all of our pieces. All right, I'm going to use my silicone mat. I'm going to grab my glue. I'm going to just put some glue onto this piece, this little panel. This is the celebratory Sips paper also. Beautiful, beautiful paper. I'm going to make sure that my flowers are going in the right direction. And I'm going to layer it onto my card front off to the right side, making sure that I leave about 1/8 of an inch border, the top, bottom, and right side, because this piece is going to lay right over it, just like this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to this panel. And we're going to lay this down right here, making sure to leave that 1/8 of an inch border on our cardstock, okay? Then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of our flowers again. So let me grab those. Here they are right here. One on the little one, and then this one is going to point this way. So I don't want to put any dimensionals right in this area over here. So I'm only going to put dimensionals on these 3 petals. Okay, then I'm going to add 2 dimensionals to the back of our sentiment. And we're going to go ahead and start layering our flowers. We're going to layer this one. I'm going to layer this up just about like that. Oh, I'm going to have to use my we're going to tuck this one right in, trying to figure out which way right in here, like this. Then I'm going to use this one and I'm going to put it right in there. Okay, I'm going to grab my 3 leaves. And what I did was, since I'm tucking this in and I don't want to have to worry about having to make space for these stems or getting this little stem stuck on anything, I just cut all the little stems off because they were hitting the Stampin' Dimensionals up underneath the flowers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little adhesive. You could use glue dots, you could use snail, you could use whatever kind of adhesive you want, but I'm just using a little dab of multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to stick that flower right up in there, making sure that it's not hanging over the edge of my card, because when you close the card, you don't want it hanging over the edge. Okay, I'm going to add a little glue to the back of this one here. And I'm going to tuck it in right here. And then we'll tuck in another one right hang on, I'm gonna have to lift this up. I should have put this down last. Hold please. That's what happens when you craft live, right? Man, those dimensionals stick. Okay, I'm gonna stick that one here, just under there, because I don't want it hanging over my card. And then I'm gonna put, just so it holds, I'm gonna put a little glue on the back of this dimensional. And then tuck that flower right in there. Okay, I'm going to take the dimensionals off of our sentiment. You know, I'm going to add one more dimensional right there to the center because I don't want it getting smushed. Then we're going to add our sentiment right in here. Just like this, and I'm going to grab my linen thread and I'm going to make a double bow. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my linen thread and I'm going to fold it in half to make 2 strands, just like this. And then I'm going to tie a little bow. Just like so. Take this loop, cut that to make my 2 tails, and then I'm going to cut this one and trim that one off just a little bit. Grab a glue dot. Right here. Gonna add our bow right in there. Just tuck that glue dot under. Okay, then I'm gonna grab our flat pearls again. I'm gonna use the Secret Sea color. We're gonna add a big one here, the little one right there, and then the middle one we're gonna add right up here between those 2 leaves. Then I need a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5. Let me cut this real quick. I keep some in my drawer over here, but for whatever reason, well, because I obviously didn't cut enough, I've used them all. So I need 4 1/4 by 5. And we'll add this to the inside of our card so that you can have a place to write your sentiment. I'm just going to use some snail. It's not snail anymore. They call it Stampin' Seal, right? Okay. Oh, that's not right. I cut that wrong. It should be 4 by 5 1/4, and I think I cut it too big. I did. Okay, let's cut this 4 5 1/4. Try it again. Okay. Three little strips. There we go. And just layer that right inside your card so you have a finished card. So it looks finished on the inside. And I'm going to burnish this one more time with my bone folder. Thank you. I like it too, Claudia. Thank you. All right, so there's our cards for today. These are the 2 cards we've done today. We are going to create these 2 cards on Thursday. So if you want to come back, we're going to create these 2 cards on Thursday. This is a cute little, just a little fun fold flap. I used the Everyday Arches dies, and then this I just did, I cut the flowers out of Bubble Bath cardstock and embossed them, and then I'll show you how to do some shading for this. And this one, we used the solid cutouts for the leaves and the small flowers, and then I just took some basic rhinestones and colored with my marker, with my Stampin' Blend. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. With my Stampin' Blends, I colored just some rhinestones for the centers of the flowers, but these are the 2 that we'll create on Thursday. So if you'll come back and join me on Thursday, we'll make those 2 cards. And then if you want the kits, if you want the kit for this week, you just place a $50 order on my online store and I send you the kit for free. And the kit will come just like this. You'll have a QR code that'll take you to a PDF, and then you'll also have, it'll send you back to links. The PDF will have links to the videos from the week so that you can go back and watch them. I include a handmade card for you, but it'll have the envelopes and all of the kits so that you can create the projects, okay? Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I hope you had fun during our coffee and a card, and I hope that you'll come back and join me on Thursday. And if you haven't already, I would hope that you would like and subscribe my YouTube channel. It helps bump me up into everyone's feed. I am at 117 subscribers, and I'm also working on offering a ordering special for the month of July for you guys for helping me get to 100 plus subscribers. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your support. So I'll see you on Thursday, okay? Thursday at 3 p.m. back here on YouTube or over on my Facebook page, all right? Thanks so much. Happy stamping and have a great day.